Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
When you say piloting, what does it mean?
Piloting is that you have now designed your questionnaire. So you want to go and use that questionnaire to collect data from a group of people that are originally not part of the study population that you have, but they have similar characteristics with the population that you are going to finally collect data from. So what you are going to do, you are going to collect the same data from them. So as you are asking the question, you give it to them, then you identify some of the challenges that they have. Then by the way, those challenges, you address them before you finally embark on the journey to collect your red data for your study. That is about research. However, there are other piloting programs that we do. For example, if there's a new drug and you want to test its efficacy, so you can start with a small community and see how it will behave over there, and also try to respond to some of the adverse effects or negative effects of the drug to try to address them. Another example that I can give is if you look at the chief concept that we are practicing today. It was actually a research that was conducted in Navrongo. So when they were training teams, one of the teams that from Nkwanta in Votan, I think now in the OT region, they came and after their presentation, they said, okay, their presentation is something that can be replicated throughout the country. Therefore, they started piloting in those two areas, Nkwanta and then Navrongo. And eventually, they begin to extend and across the country now we all have what? The chief concept. Another piloting that you can also talk about, so you can start on that. What are the challenges that were coming up? So all of those things were before they eventually launched the national one. But I was saying that come to research specifically, you have designed your questionnaire, yet you are going to similar population. That's all population that has the same characteristics of the population in which you are going to collect your data, to pilot that particular questionnaire just to collect data from that population and identify some of the mistakes or some of the challenges that you are likely to face when you go out to collect your data, so that you can resolve those challenges.
The errors that come out with the response, find answers.
I didn't get you clear. Can you come again?
Yeah, I'm saying that with fact checking on responders. So you have multiple sources that you can collaborate the responders findings, whatever he gives is to your questionnaires, in order to minimize the social, what you said about the social disability response.
Yeah.
I said this, yes, with a survey. So it helps to minimize those things, the authenticity of what the responder is giving to you.
Okay. And I've mentioned that in class last 2 weeks when we had the research. Do you remember I talked about triangulation?
Yeah.
That you can use multiple data collection methods.
Yeah, sure.
You can use multiple investigators or researchers to collect the same data, so that I can try and see the validity of whatever you are collecting. So what you are saying is in line with that. So there are multiple ways that you can check that. However, the national idea or the most important thing is that people want to appear what? Or accepting or look good in your face. Just like the question I asked. You are just talking. Probably you have more than 2 sexual partners now. But if I ask you, you tell me only one. Meanwhile, you know that you have more than one. You see.
Okay.
So it is that people intentionally do that because they want to appear nice. That no, don't attribute anything negative to us. Meanwhile, we have people here, we have ladies who are managing 7 guys here. We have guys who are managing 7 ladies here. But they will not tell you that we are doing that. Tell you that it's only one.
Then we have good
Thank you, sir.
managers here.
I'm teaching, I'm only making example. Are you one of them? So can we continue if you don't have any other question?
Sir, please, I have a question.
Okay, please do.
Does the sample size matter if you are doing the pilot?
No. Oh, your question, your line is breaking actually.
Because you are saying that the characteristics or something. So do you have?
Oh, your line is bad, my brother.
Okay. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, it's
Sir,
better.
please, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm saying that with the piloting, do you have to take into consideration the sample size? Because
No.
you are saying that we should identify a similar population. So it means if you're not taking into consideration the sample size,
the problem that you're likely to is how it is. It's not that if the sample size is 100, you must also try and get 100 people from other population to be able to do the piloting. Are we okay now?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, bro. So if you look at this, we are just trying to look at the advantages of dichotomous and multiple choice questions. So we are just looking at the advantages. Multiple choice or close-ended questions are easy to handle. They are very easy to handle. They are very easy to handle and as compared to others or other ones that you have to especially open-ended questions. So it's very easy for you to handle. We are also saying that it's less expensive to analyze because yes and no, you can group them. Yes, yeah, no, important. And even the multiple choice is limited. So you can calculate, you can select all people who are going for A, all the people who are going for B, all the people who are going to C, and find the percentage of it. So it is easier to do analysis. And it's also easy to handle because you can go and collect the data yourself. So you can even post it. So that is something that is easy about having dichotomous or multiple choice questions. Amenable to statistical analysis. You can change some of the things to adapt or to conform to your statistical analysis that you want to do. So you can change some of them. You can actually change how you design the questions to also meet your analysis that you are expecting. Sometimes the provisions of clear the meaning of the question. So sometimes when you provide alternative then become a challenge. You don't even know where to start from. So that also helps them to identify where exactly the challenge is. So that can also issue under consideration happen to be complex. When you have complex issues, it is not good to use multiple and then dichotomous options. For example, evaluation of health status, that is health utility. This is a complex issues. Things that people think that, oh, yes, we have a also have the disadvantages of open-ended question before the other side. So open-ended question also help you to collect qualitative data in a questionnaire where the respondent can answer at all. So you can also collect some level of what? Qualitative data in quantitative questionnaire or research by giving them what? Open-ended questions to be able to what? Provide their mind or respond free of charge without any limitation, little limitation. Open and questions. However, I want to add something. All these things depend on the kind of research you are doing. If you are doing exploratory research, as I've mentioned, then you're likely to go for the questions. But if you are doing close-ended questions, then open-ended questions give the respondent considerable latitude in phrasing a reply. So getting the replies in a respondent's own words that's the major advantage of what? Open-ended questions. You are getting the response or answer that you want from the words of the person, from the horse's own mouth. It's not as if you are putting any word into the mouth of the person, unlike as compared to what? The close-ended questions where you are giving options to the person to select from. But when it comes to open-ended questions, you are not putting any words into people. You are not putting any word into the throat of the people to tick for you or something of that nature. What you are doing is that you are giving them the option, all the options in the world for them to respond the way they want to. And that is what? Good. Especially when you are doing exploratory research, as I said. 2, appropriate when the interest of researcher is in what? Exploration of what? A process, as I said from the beginning. Then we can also talk about the disadvantages of that. From an analytical point of view, it's very difficult to analyze open because you have divergent views. So how are you going to sample all of these divergent views, put them in groups? Sometimes there will not be any similarity at all. So it's very difficult to analyze. When you look at open-ended questions, one difficult thing that difficult to analyze, and then also raising problems of interpretation. Comparability is also there, and then interviewer biases are also there. This when it comes to what? Open-ended questions. They are not conformed to any. Try to change them so that you can use statistical method to analyze them. So eventually you are likely to respond to what? Asking open-ended question. As I said, mostly about your exploration and all that. Then we also have to talk about advantages of questionnaire method of data collection. So we are now looking at advantage of questionnaire itself as a method of our data collection. 1, is large and widely spread geographically. Low cost because I said you can even post your questionnaire and people answer it and send it back to you. It is free from the bias of the interviewer answers in the respondent's own words. It is also free from the biases of the interviewer answers, and that can also help you to prevent your own biases. Sometimes when you're asking questions, you want them to give you this kind of answer. So you are giving what? Prompts. you are asking prompt questions so that they can give you. When you use questionnaires in general, you also limit or reduce that that are likely to pop up. The respondents also have adequate time to give well